Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so sorry about that. We're back. We had just a little technical glitch, but we're back. Okay. All right. All right. So let me quickly share. Um. Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. Welcome back to the market color for today, 14th of April 2025. So quickly, we're going to be looking at dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, and then be proceeding from there. Now, looking at the dollar index on the weekly time frame, we've seen that the dollar index is clearing all the lows that we've previously anticipated would stop the dollar index from trading further down. Okay, so we marked this low, which seemed to be like the low of the last, I think, 2 years. Yeah. So this was the low of 2024, and this was the lowest point, and dollar index cleared it. Now, this is the lowest point of 2023, and the dollar index has cleared it. All right, so this is showing us clear signs that the dollar index, or the dollar generally, is not yet in the mood to start giving us the push to the upside, because there's still been a lot of things coming out from the US with respect to various economic policies, especially the increase in tariff, or the tariff hike that has been circulating around various countries between the US, and major economies like China, the Eurozone, Canada, and many other countries. We've been seeing that tariff war going on for the past couple of weeks now. So the US has been increasing their tariffs on various countries and their imports from those countries. And those countries have also been retaliating. We've been seeing efforts from countries like China and Canada especially also retaliating in the tariff. So whenever US imposes an increase in tariff, they retaliate. If another one is imposed upon them further than what was imposed the last time, they also retaliate. So all these wars make it very impractical to see the euro, or sorry, to see the US dollar rallying to the upside at this moment. So most likely, the US dollar is currently in a run to the downside. As you've seen it technically analyzing it this morning, it has been clearing all the lows of the last 2 years within a week or two. All right, so this kind of things usually happen when there is uncertainty in a particular currency. Now, when you have uncertainty in a currency like the US dollar at this period, you would not want to use it as a means of trade or as a currency of trade because there is fluctuation and it's losing its value. So if you have a transaction which is costing you about $100 at the period, by the time you would want to conclude that transaction, it could be costing you even more because the dollar is losing its value against major currencies. So during this period, it's best to transact in other currencies. That is why you're seeing the US dollar going short in this period as we've seen it happen recently. Now, back to the technical analysis, we're seeing that we expected to see a pool of US dollar or a rally of US dollar from either of these two levels. Instead, what we saw was a retracement. Now, if you look at the daily time frame, that makes it clearer for us. So we wanted to see if the US dollar was going to push back to the upside from here. But what we saw was a retracement instead. So what I'm anticipating to happen on the US dollar going into the remaining parts of this week is to see how it's going to give another round of retracement. So we saw that it traded into this zone and then retraced further, then sold a little more. On Friday, we saw a volume imbalance that was created, so we can get rid of these guys here and then pay more attention to this one. So a volume imbalance was created on Friday. We'll look at that on the 4-hour time frame soon. So after that was created, we've not seen a reasonable retracement back to that level. Now, that level also coincides with this last level that was broken. So the last low that was broken on the dollar. So the low of 2024, yeah, yes. So that level was taken out and we've not seen a decent retracement back there. So going forward into the remaining part of this week, we might see that retracement into this portion that has been left unfilled. So that is what I'm expecting to play out on the US dollar this week. I expect it to sell further, but then give us a retracement into here and then continue selling. Now, if you look at it right now, it has taken out all the liquidity that we were anticipating would send price back up. Now that it has taken out all those liquidity, we should be expecting some retracement. Now, the next point of liquidity that we might be expecting the dollar index to take out would be this level right here. Okay, somewhere around 2022. Yeah, somewhere around March 2022, we're expecting that low to be taken out. But before that low is taken out, we would want to see a retracement. All right, now seeing that we want to see a retracement doesn't change our bias for the dollar. Our bias for the dollar is still a sell. We're expecting a short on the dollar and we're expecting to continue going on until there is a clear direction on the dollar based off economic policies that are coming out from the United States. So for now, we'll just keep going short on the dollar. This is my bias and this is my analysis on how I came to that conclusion. Okay, so talking about the volume imbalance, you could see that on the 4-hour time frame, price tried to mitigate it a little, but it didn't fully fill up that mitigation. However, it did mitigate a little. Now, I'm not expecting price to expressly trade into this level before selling. You could also see it from this level sell to the downside. So my bias still remained the same and unchanged about the dollar. So I'm expecting further sales to take place. Now, seeing that we're expecting further sales to take place on the dollar, let's look at some foreign currencies where we can implement this analysis on. So starting off with the Euro USD, the bias for Euro USD has always been up and it's still remaining up. So what we'll be looking out for are entry points for Euro USD long. Now, for me, I'm expecting Euro USD to trade all the way to take out these highs. Now, if you see, just like the dollar, Euro USD has taken out the high of 2024, which is somewhere around here. Yeah, so this was the high of 2024. Now, for 2023, this is the high of 2023. So just like the US dollar index, Euro USD has taken out that high. So going into the next point of interest will be taking out the high of 2022, okay, which is right here. I'm expecting Euro USD to take out that high in the coming days, especially into this week. So for the analysis on Euro USD, it has traded to the upside, giving us some short retracement. Right now, I'm expecting further buys on Euro USD to the upside. Now, I'm considering this range from here to here, and price has given a decent retracement from that since it started. So from here to here is the range, okay? You can see how price gave a decent retracement and is continuing to the upside. From anywhere around where Euro USD is at the moment, I'm willing to take a buy of Euro USD from that place all the way to 1.15000. Okay, so I'm looking to take that buy from this anywhere around here. So once I see an entry signature printing out around this level, I'm willing to take my buy all the way to this level. That should be about 100 pips in profits or in our direction of our analysis. So if I see an entry signature of Euro USD printing out around here, I'll be willing to take my buy all the way to the upside. Okay, so this is what I'm anticipating on Euro USD, and this is our predicted direction for Euro USD. So whichever entry signature you use, especially for us here on the market color, we usually take advantage of the box pattern. So I'm going to show you that quickly on the 5 minutes time frame. So on the 5 minutes time frame, we have our box pattern printed right here, where we have this as our left shoulder. There was a sweep right here, a break of structure here. Right now, what we're expecting is for Euro USD to come and take this liquidity. Once it grabs this liquidity on the 5 minutes time frame and comes into this level, this is going to form our entry for Euro USD. So I'm giving you a live signal here on the market color so that you can take advantage of it immediately. So we can reduce around 15 pips. I don't like to go lower than that. And then we're targeting all the way here. Okay, so this could look like a robbery in real terms, because imagine using 15 pips to get about 100 pips. That's like 1:8, and which is very good for this kind of trading seasons where we expect movements to be very fast and volatile in the direction. So this is what I'm expecting to play out on Euro USD. So my entry is going to be somewhere around 1.13655. Okay. And then my stop loss is going to be somewhere around 1.13477. So this is going to be my stop loss. And then my take profit will be somewhere shy of 1.4800, 1.14800. So somewhere around there, 1.14900. That's where my take profit is going to be. All right, so this is what I'm looking out for on Euro US. You can see prices trading further downwards. So I expect that move to start from here and then trade to the upside. And this is the path I expect price to follow. We trade into this level and then boom, all the way up here to grab the high of 2022. That is the target for today's trade. So this could take more than 1 day to achieve, maybe into tomorrow, but however long it takes, is good for us so long as we are in profit. So Euro USD buy from this level all the way to this level. This is my analysis and this is my bias for Euro USD. Okay, now let's look over to GBP USD quickly. All right, so on GBP USD, I'm expecting the same thing. Look at the high of GBP USD so far. GBP USD has been making those moves to the upside, but unlike Euro USD and the dollar index, GBP USD is yet to take out the high of 2024, and also the high of 2023 has been taken out by the high of 2024. So we just expect GBP USD to take out the high of 2024 as that would also cover for the high of 2023, which is somewhere around here. So seeing that being the case, we expect GBP USD to trade even more. Now, if you also look at the high of 2022, it should be somewhere around was it January or February? Okay, so this is it. So this is the high of 2022. Okay, so we're expecting GBP USD to take out this guy and this guy all together in that move to the upside, and then possibly go and look out for the high of 2021, which is still a juicy point. But then my summary of this is that GBP USD still have more length or more pips to travel compared to what Euro USD has shown us, and the dollar index has also shown us. So GBP USD is going to favor a strong buy during this period. Now, you can see how that buy has taken off after price retraced into this previous resistance level and then started trading back to the upside. So this is kind of a breakout block on the 4-hour time frame, and then GBP USD is moving that way. Okay, so we expect it to continue moving continuously to the upside. I haven't seen GBP USD giving us that retracement, filling up imbalances that were left during this last expansion to the upside. Right now, I'm expecting GBP USD to continue buying to the upside and taking out 1.3 4 region. So this region is my target for a GBP USD buy. Now let's look at the 4-hour time frame to see potential entries. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, it's yet to break this level, so we cannot consider this full swing yet because structure has not been broken. But if you look at the 1-hour time frame, you see that it has broken its own structure, which is somewhere around here. Okay, now seeing that being played out, we're expecting a short retracement of GBP USD, and then we'll be buying to the upside. So my analysis and my bias for GBP USD generally is for a buy. Right now, we're not seeing a good entry pattern on GBP USD, so we might not be looking for it to trade all the way down here. Let me show you that on the 5 minutes time frame. So we might not be expecting GBP USD to trade all the way down here, okay, to give us that box pattern, but at least a decent retracement into the high of Asia, which is somewhere here. Okay, so somewhere around here, which is the high of Asia, would be a decent retracement for GBP USD, and then we'll be taking it to the upside. So for GBP USD, this is where I'm expecting it to trade to all the way here. I can have my stop loss around 20 pips or so, somewhere here, or you can even extend it to 30 pips, because considering what we're going to target as our take profits, 30 pips shouldn't be too much to ask for. So as we're generous with our stop loss, we have to also be generous with our take profit. So take profit will be somewhere around that high that we showed. Okay, so that's on I think 4-hour time frame will be visible. So the overall take profit will be somewhere around here. That's quite a lot. Should be around 300 pips. Okay, so around 300 pips. But then in this kind of trades, you're going to be managing it properly, where we'll be taking profits slowly as price is approaching our target. So for GBP USD today, this is where I'm expecting it to get to, and then I'll be taking my trade off from this level once it gets there. So the high of Asia is my entry target for GBP USD. Once it trades into the high of Asia, I'll be looking to take my entry, and then my take profit is going to be waiting for GBP USD to take out the high of 2024. Once it's gradually getting there, maybe after 50 or 100 pips, we take out some profit. After another 50 or 100 pips, we take out some profit until it gets there, because that's about a 300 pips distance to be covered. So that is what I'm going to be doing on GBP USD. That is my bias, and this is my analysis. So a quick recap on the dollar index, I'm expecting it to continue selling because of this period of economic tensions from the US, which as a result of the tariff wars that's currently going on there. So since we're expecting sales on the dollar index, on Euro USD, we're expecting buys, on GBP USD, we're expecting buys. I'm giving you the live signal for Euro USD buy and also for a GBP USD buy. So I expect everyone to be able to do your own research and then take the trades if it aligns with your perspective of the market. So just quickly run your own top down, and if it aligns feel free to take the trades and then enjoy the profits that comes from it. And as usual, when you get profit from the live signals like this, feel free to send us a message on WhatsApp or on Telegram showing us your trading results so that we will know that the inputs we are making and the efforts we're making at this analysis are not taken for granted and are actually making some good profits for people who are taking them. Okay, so let's take one or two comments before we continue with analysis for gold and for the yen basket. So quickly, Porters FX, good morning to you, Porters FX. It's been a long time we've seen you. So he says, beautiful analysis from CJ as usual. You're doing well. Thank you very much. Said GU at weekly time frame is reacting at imbalance right away. Okay, so let's quickly look at GBP USD once again on the weekly time frame to confirm his comments. So feel free to drop your comments whenever you have any. So this was the imbalance that he was referring to, this huge fair value gap right here. GPUS just quickly reacted to it and then started moving back to the upside. So nice observation right there. Okay. All right. So I think my audio is good, so possibly I think you should maybe disconnect and then try to reconnect again. You should have a good network afterwards. All right, so then Oladipo says GBP analysis of last week was great, played out accordingly. Thank you very much. So we hope that you're taking those trades from the analysis that we're dropping and you're making some good profits from it, okay? So whenever you're making good profit from it like this, we do not tell you to send us back the money or send us a share of the money. Just send us your trades and let us know that you're actually taking the trades and making money from it. These are the kind of things that motivates us to do more research and bring up more great analysis like this for you so that you can make more money, okay? So I think I've taken all the comments. All right, thank you very much for all those who dropped their comments. We really appreciate your observations and your inputs and then your kind words of encouragement. All right, so quickly we're going to go on a very short break for about 40 seconds to a minute. And when we return, we're going to continue analyzing gold against the dollar. We're also going to look at the yen basket and one or two other yen related currencies. Okay, so stay tuned, and when we return, we'll use those quick sessions to wrap up today's analysis. I'm CJ, and we'll continue in today's market color after the break.
Morning, everyone, and welcome back to the market color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. It's a great new week, and that's a very great analysis from CJ. Very great one. So we are going to be looking out for what we should expect in the course of the week. So we are going to be starting right now for the second session for with the precious metal, starting from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. From there, we go to Japan to see what's going on with the yen basket, and from the yen basket, we take a brief look at the other yen correlated pairs. All right, so let's start with the precious metal, particularly from the weekly time frame. Now, if you look at the precious metal on the weekly time frame, you are going to observe we are heavily bullish all the way to the upside. Since the beginning of the year, the precious metal has been the most preferred safe haven asset, and last week was an extraordinary move for the precious metal all the way to the upside. You are going to observe, if you look at the candlestick for last week, it did over about 30,000 pips to the upside just in a week. And that's to tell you something is happening on the precious metal. All right. Now, if you look at it on the daily time frame, we are going to observe what exactly are we seeing on the daily time frame. You can see the massive buy of the precious metals since Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday without any retracement at all. It's just a very big momentum. So this week we're expecting some level of pullback into this flip zone, then the continuation of the bullish trend. As a matter of fact, what we are still looking out for on the precious metal, there are high probability for us to see the precious metal before the end of this second quarter around the 4,000 level because of what is really going on now. Everybody trying to hold on to gold and see what exactly becomes of the other safe haven assets. All right. So if you look at what we have on board now, you are going to discover that we have a flip zone here and price has broken out of that resistance. You can see this is resistance. So we expect it to be a support as price pull back all the way into that level. Then we can easily begin to long the precious metal again. But right now, where price is, maybe if we stream down to the lower time frame, we may see some brief entry for the long, but currently I would prefer much more to see price retrace into this flip zone and we can follow through just as the way it did at our analysis for last week, how we said that price should come all the way to clear this low here, and we can see how price cleared the low and begin to push all the way to the upside. And remember, the trend line we've been using for a very long time now is still there, and we still expect it to keep moving all the way to the upside. Okay, so that is it for the precious metal moving forward on the daily time frame. Now, if you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, you are going to observe exactly what we've seen so far from the weekly down to the daily. Now, you can see this is a failed boss pattern. And remember, one thing about a failed boss pattern is also still telling you a story that whenever it failed, is giving you a level of entry again. So when it fails here, that means when price comes back to that region, we want to long it all the way to the upside. And you can see the failed shoulder, price giving a fair value gap inside of the failed shoulder. All right. So we're expecting before that price will trade and clear this liquidity level here at the top here. Then if we see a sell entry, we can easily sell all the way down. But you can see the massive bullish candle all the way that even cleared the liquidity at the all-time high for that period. Now we have price trade above, so we are expecting some level of pullback on the precious metal into this flip zone. Then we can easily begin to long again all the way to the upside. Now the funniest thing is this week may be a little bit slow on the chart. However, just hold enough to what the chart is going to give to you. All right, so let's work with that. So this is it. This is what we're expecting for price to retrace all the way into this flip zone. Then we look out for buy signature, then follow through to the upside. That is it. Now this may happen today into tomorrow, and remember, is the precious metal. We may see it just happen today, and tomorrow we begin the long for the week again. But we are expecting it to be between today and tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday for the pullback, creating the low of the week. Then Wednesday, Thursday for the long of the week, just as last week has done. We are expecting the same thing to happen here this week again. All right, so that is for the precious metal. And on the 1-hour time frame, we are going to observe we have similar thing on the 1-hour time frame too. If you look at it very well, so it's really giving some level of confirmation, which means price should come and take out this low, this liquidity level here. When price takes it out, there's high tendency we see price trade into this 1-hour order block. So you may just want to mark that out on your own chart to be some level of confirmation for you when price get there. So when price taps into this zone and you see price take out liquidity here and gives your sell buy signature rather, then you can easily follow through all the way to the upside. Now, what is the now trend? What exactly is the now trade of the precious metal? Now, I know many people be like, yes, can we just follow it down to that place? I'm not following anything because what you can see on the chart right now, since Friday, price has entered a consolidation level. You can see this is it. Price is currently consolidating. So the next thing you may just see is a breakout from this level here or just a week to clear the buy side, then come back all the way and start pushing to the downside. So there's no really any entry signature right now. The only entry signature I can see on the chart is that of the Asian session, and that is somewhere around here. So everybody will be sleeping by that time. So this is just the only entry I've seen so far for today. So there's no any other entry currently. So better still just wait and let your entry signature place out. And you don't want to trade against the trend. So you just want to wait a bit for price to get to our level. Then we can easily push up to the upside. All right. So let's look out for that moving forward. Okay. So this is going to be all about the precious metal. Now let's quickly move to Japan and see what is going on the yen basket. All right, so this is the yen basket, and for the yen basket, where exactly are we heading to? Let's look at it from the weekly time frame to see where exactly we are heading to for the yen basket. Okay, so remember last year around August, we have a massive move of the yen basket all the way to the upside to take out all this liquidity level. Then it begins to range. It enters a consolidation phase, even on the weekly time frame. That is a very big concern that price enter the consolidation phase on a weekly time frame. So from there, we've been seeing how that price has just been, ranging in between that level. So our expectation now is that we want price to come and take out the last year high, then continue to trade all the way into this weekly order block that we have here. So this is what we are expecting into the second quarter, just as we said. Okay, so we are expecting price to trade all the way into this weekly order block. And if you refine this zone very well, we are going to see there's a fair value gap there and also a very noticeable flip zone within that zone. So we expect price to rally all the way into that level. And if you look at it from the daily perspective, we are going to observe how that we expect price to take out this liquidity level last week. Price did exactly the same thing. And we said that if price could take out this level and it trade above this zone, that the weekly candle closes above this zone, then that is giving us a confirmation that we are heading all the way to the top on the weekly time frame. But on the daily time frame, we just see price, took out the liquidity level and begin to trade back, into the reference point that we have here. So we are still expecting it to come a bit lower, just a pullback more to clear the fair value gap, tap into the fair value gap and also the daily order block. Then we can begin to long all the way to the upside again. So that is what we are expecting for the yen basket on the daily time frame. More of a pullback, then continuation of its bullish trend, which simply means for the yen correlated pair, we want to see a bit of buy as yen basket is pulling back. We want to see a bit buy, then continuation of the massive sell on the other yen correlated pair. So that is what we're looking out for in the course of the week. Just before we round up for the yen basket, if you look at the weekly time frame, you are going to see how that price already broke out of this level and then it's consolidating here. But I'm still of the opinion that price should still push a little bit more to the downside, just as we've marked on the weekly time, daily time frame. Then we continue our rally all the way to the upside. So if this is what we are expecting to see on the yen basket, what should we now look out for on the yen correlated pair like GBP, JPY, AUD, JPY, Euro, JPY, and other yen correlated pairs? So let's quickly take a look at the GBP, JPY. Now for GBP, JPY, let's start from the weekly time frame particularly. Oh, sorry about my chart, a bit messed up. All right, so for the weekly time frame of GBP, JPY, we are going to observe that price is still very much more in the consolidation zone. You can see how that we've seen price take out. It broke this low. This is the low here. Let's zoom out so we all can see clearly. Good. So you can see this is the low here that price took out the massive sell-off last year into last year, August, and just is more like an inverse of what we are seeing on the yen basket. All right, so we see it here, and we've seen the shoulder also. This is the shoulder somewhere around here, and we see how that price pushed all the way into that level. You can see price pushed into that level, and we expect the follow through that price should keep selling to the downside, but it's being consolidated on the weekly time frame. But if you look at it on the daily time frame, so let's quickly take something, call our attention to something on the weekly time frame. You see, when price sold all the way into the weekly order block, so I take note of every of that. You can see how that price traded into the weekly order block, leaving lot of liquidity below here, but the weekly order block react to price. You can see how that price, push all the way back up. So this exactly is what we see price doing. So we expect that price should now come back again, then violate it and take out all the liquidity level here to trade all the way into this zone. And that is giving us exactly what we are seeing on the yen basket. We want to see price trade into the weekly order block of the yen basket, while also the weekly order block of GBP JPY. So that is what we are looking out to see for the GBP JPY. And if you look at it on the daily time frame, so because of the short that we are expecting on the yen basket, so we want to expect some level of long for GBP JPY. And just as we've seen that price took out liquidity from this level, we expect it to push a bit up some other way, just a bit up, and trade into this daily fair value gap. You can see it inside of this place. This is the daily fair value gap and also the order block. So that is all we are expecting to see for the week. All right, so we are expecting some level of long of GBP/JPY into this fair value gap and also this order block for the week. As a matter of fact, we can see some bust pattern on the daily time frame here. You can see the shoulder, you can see the sweep, and you can see the break all the way to the downside. So when price gets to this zone and we did not see the sell signature around this zone, then that means price will still have much more room to trade all the way to come and take out liquidity around this level. Look at this level here. So this is the real high, but this is more like the liquidity before the break of the the sweep of the shoulder. You see, this is the shoulder, this is the sweep, and before the break, it creates a liquidity. So we expect price to one day come back to take out the liquidity. So if price did not react at this daily order block and this fair value gap, which is also a flip zone level, then we are expecting it. If it breaks through, then we are expecting it to come and take out liquidity here and start selling all the way to the downside. All right, so for the 4-hour time frame, what are we seeing on GBP JPY on the 4-hour time frame? Now on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe how that price, how that price created a low, took out this low here and break out, then pull back all the way. If you draw your Fibonacci somewhere inside here, you are going to see how that price reacted to a level here. However, there is still something below here that price, when we get to the, let's check it on the lower time frame where the real entry was, and that is more of a pending order move. All right, so this is it here. You can see the 1-hour order block inside of this zone, and price is just pushing all the way to the upside, but price has not really traded here, so this is just a move. But if you look at it from your 15 minutes time frame, we have a level inside of that inside of this zone, particularly from the Asian session. Let's quickly look at that. Good, look at it. So this is it on the chart. So we have how that price, cleared massively to the upside. Then we expect price, as it came all the way back down, to take out liquidity from this level. And since it took that out, then since it's going to be a buy all the way to the upside. Now, I know someone is going to ask, what is the signature for this trade? If you want that signature for that trade, you can easily join our FS Bootcamp class. Then we explain it much more deeper and clearer for you for the day. All right, for your trading strategy, you too can have a hand of that. So in a nutshell, what we are looking out for is we want to long GBP JPY because of the sell-off that we are expecting on the yen basket. Now, the sell-off on the yen basket is just more of a pullback, not necessarily a very long sell-off. It's more of a pullback into the daily order block for the continuation of the buy. All right, so that is that for AUD JPY. Let's quickly take a look for GBP JPY. Let's quickly take a look at AUD JPY before we round up. All right, for AUD JPY on the daily time frame, if we look at the AUD JPY from the daily time frame view, we are going to observe how that price traded deeply last week. You can see how that price traded deeply last week, and now we are seeing more of a push to the upside. But let's take a look at it from the weekly overview. Now, from the weekly overview, you can see AUD JPY traded into its own reference point on the weekly time frame, and that is what we are seeing currently now. And it took out liquidity too. But if you refine this level carefully and openly, particularly to your lowest time frame, 15 minutes to be specific, you are going to see some level of reaction here that causes the buy of the price all the way to the upside. So that is that. Now, moving forward, we are expecting that for the yen AUD JPY moving forward, we are expecting on the 4-hour time frame. What exactly do we want to see happen on the 4-hour time frame? This is it. We expect price to trade below from the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour order block here to trade below. But what we are seeing now is, yes, price reacted from that level below, but because of the sell that we are expecting on the yen basket, we expect it to buy more to the upside. So this is where we are still expecting AUD JPY to come into this particular reference point here is where we are expecting AUD JPY to buy all the way into. And just as we know that last week was a weak one for the Aussie, last week was a weak one for Aussie, so it doesn't get much more push to the upside. So what we are expecting this week is more of a push to the upside for Aussie. Now let's check the 15-minute time frame. If there's any trade right now that we can easily follow for AUD JPY. Now my interest for AUD JPY right now is, as price is already pushing to the upside, just as you can see, I'll wait a bit if I'm going to see price reprice itself. If AUD JPY is going to reprice itself into the low of the Asian session, particularly if it's going to take out the low of the Asian session, then we can easily follow back to the upside. When we see our entry signature below the Asian low here, you can see, then we can easily follow up to the upside, knowing fully well that we are expecting the yen basket to, pull back between today and tomorrow before the continuation of the buy. So we are looking for buy opportunity on the AUD JPY today into tomorrow, GBP JPY buy opportunity today into tomorrow, which is already going on. And for the precious metal, we are looking more of a pullback before we join the buy all the way to the upside. If there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box so we can quickly address it before we call it a day. Ovizino said, good morning, Mr. Precious Metal. Okay, I honor you too, Mrs. Good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Oluseyi. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right, if there's no question, this is going to be the end of the market call for the London session brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. To meet again in the afternoon by 2 p.m., make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. Once again, I'm Lekon Shemi. Cheers and God bless.